Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi. This is 260 pages with 28 chapters and is very Pacific Rim vibes without the robots. This was a lot of fun. The premise is alternate Earth exists and the barrier between is thinned by nuclear weapons or nuclear reactors. And so by chance, the main character meets up with a college acquaintance. Really, they're not friends, and he's like, hey, we had an opening because of COVID. Here's my business card. Give him a call, let him know, but you have only 2 days to decide. So he signs up and shows up, and then they go to Iceland. They go into an air base and go underground, and they show up in this amazing jungle. And it turns out to be the alternate Earth, Kaiju Earth. And so they are the Kaiju Preservation Society. There are these giant Godzilla type monsters that can or don't always mature to that size, but they have parasites that help them develop. And so there's these group of scientists. They literally, their goal is to study and learn from and preserve, if they can, these giant mountain-sized beasts, ecosystems really. They don't think of them as animals, they think of them as ecosystems because of all the other animals that they support via parasites and just their environment. So it really starts off, his first day when he gets there, his first week, he has tons of off-the-wall experiences that's, his acquaintance has been there for years and hasn't. So I liked the rotations. There's 3 teams. And not only did I think it was prudent for the story, but also like that gives you a lot of extra people who aren't main characters that can be stepped on by a giant monster, right? So I'm not saying that everybody dies, but as an author, right, you want to have characters that you're attached to, and you want to have characters that are maybe a little bit more expendable. And I think that those 3 teams make that really very possible. I like the camaraderie. If anybody who's been to college and had multiple roommates will know what this is talking about. I feel like there was a little bit of inaccessibility in that there was a lot of language that was very slang, very young people. Who knows? It'll probably be ancient history in a few years, but the author just had fun with it. He didn't worry about using a lot of prose. He just went for it, used whatever language the young people, the young college people would be saying, and it really, every character had a doctorate. And so when they talked, there was that teasing, that camaraderie, that doing science, but at the same time, like the main character only had a master's degree, so he felt excluded. It felt like the science wasn't unreachable, but at the same time, like, somebody's not going to pick up this book and just be like, oh, hey, like, I feel like there's an audience, there's a nerd audience, really. I mean, I don't know, Kaiju, Godzilla, that already kind of sets the tone for a nerdy audience, but this, especially for some, might not be able to connect with it as easily if they only have done a bachelor's. And so I thought the delivery, the CEO was spot on character, the CEO character. I thought at the beginning, at least the first half, and the conflict arises when these kaiju overheat and they, for lack of a better word, self-destruct. We witness one, and then we also have another one in danger, and the goal is to preserve the kaiju, right? So that is whether they're natural processes triggered by another kaiju or triggered by humans, that is the goal. In this group really has learned a ton of cool things, and they recruit, and it's a secret society, but they also get government funding. It's this whole thing. It's really cool, fun read. I read it while I had COVID for the first time, so it hit home a little bit. Just a fun read. Don't take it too seriously. If you're if you are, a downside is multiverses. If for some reason you're tired of all the multiverse stories, this one might not be for you. But it was just fun. I didn't take it too seriously. I enjoyed it. The author enjoyed writing it. I enjoyed reading it. Scalzi is a great science fiction writer. I think I've read every one of his books so far, and I think this is the newest, at least that I'm aware of. Great author, great book, fun time, quick read. I think I read it in like 24 hours. It was great. It was the perfect way to spend part of my lockdown. And you should read it too. I enjoyed it. You will too. Remember to buy your books used or digital.